It's Kelly, and I'm finally back. So I know I've been a little MIA the last 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks. I'm just going to try to get this a little bit straight for you. Okay. Mostly straight, I think. Okay. So I've been a little MIA the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, Victoria Marie did an online crop. And so I participated in that, and she did some lives around the time that I normally would have done a live stream. And I was just having a lot of fun participating in that weekend. And then last weekend, I had these two, plus their older brother here on Friday night. And I was a little busy. So 2, 4, and big brother is 7. So lots of fun there, lots of photos taken and all that good stuff. So it's good to be back. And I do these things when I'm around. Not that anything that I was doing was really not away from home. It was all home. So I was kind of thinking at first, Shamel did a layout. If it wasn't this week, it was last week, with a summer cut file with the word summer. And I was thinking about doing something like that. I know I have them. And I knew I had these pictures of these guys hanging out with Daddy. Big brother was with Mommy on a date. I knew I had these pictures of them like hanging out in the hammock, and they love popsicles, as a lot of kids do. So I thought it would be fun to do these. Hey, Cynthia. Yeah, it's good to be back. Like I said, just, life, little bit of life things. So anyway, nothing bad or anything like that. Anyway, so I really love these photos of them and thought that would be great for that summer cut file. And then as I started pulling things together, I decided I wasn't going to use a cut file. I love this paper, which is from Simple Stories Hello Summer. It's the Best Day Ever paper, and this collection is from 2018. So an older collection here. And then I like it with this paper, even though there's not really a lot of orange in there. I guess their skin tones are kind of peachy, right? But I love this. And then I like this as well too, but if this was just of my granddaughter, I would say yes. Not that I couldn't use it with them, but I think this is more fun for all the kids and the activity levels. And then I was looking for something that I'm going to want to mat the photos. And so I found this, which I think looks nice with these. And actually, I was thinking about using it kind of like that, but we'll see what happens. And I do like that, although this is kind of a bigger version of this. And I did find this really old paper that works with these colors really, really well. And I have a couple pieces of this. This is Simple Stories Summer Vibes, the Sunkissed paper. I've used this side, I know that for sure, from 2015. So I need to get this used up. So I'm thinking this would be a fun paper to use here. So that's where we're starting. And then, especially now that I see this, I really think I want to use that paper just as something fun. I did grab, this is the Simple Stories Summer Days chipboard here. And since they've got popsicles, I thought it would be fun. This is obviously not a popsicle, it's like an icy, but I thought that, or snow cone. I thought that would be fun. There's some sunglasses here, the ice cold drinks, there's a little SPF thing, and then some more summer icons in these summer days pieces here. And the reason I pulled this is my granddaughter here is wearing a shirt with the flamingos on it, and this has a flamingo in it. So I'm going to pull that one. And so then I was looking, and I have these Pebbles puffy stickers with flamingos. This is more of just a general die cuts from Photoplay, the Summer Daydreams collection, so I may not use any of those. And then I have an old October Afternoon Daily Flash collection here with the flamingo. I've got Hot, Hot, Hot and glasses here and just other things. I should look at the date, although I don't think the green is here. So last day of June actually here. So this is certainly a possibility because of the like flip-flops if I want some blue. And that flamingo. And then lastly, this is Pebbles Sunshiny Days. And I believe I have two. Oh, look at that. There's a popsicle too. So let's pull these out. Oh, there's two popsicles. Okay, so I think this is a good candidate. There we go. Two popsicles and two flamingos from this. So I think we're going to try to get those on here. And then we'll see what else happens with some of the other flamingo icons I have here as well. Just because they're on her shirt, so why not, right? So the one thing I do know is we want to start backing these two photos. Oops. And just as I do that, my tape runs out. So let's get this on here. There's enough tape on there to be fine. And I think this is interesting because this yellow-green really kind of brings in the grass color here and also the colors in her towel. So now you get to watch me change my ATG. How exciting. That makes for very exciting videos, doesn't it? So I think I know I mentioned right at the beginning that 2 weeks ago I was participating in the Victoria Marie crop, which was so much fun. If, yeah, isn't that true, Cynthia? So if you have not checked it out, it's Victoria Marie on Facebook. It was $8 for the entire weekend. She has challenges. She had lives. She had a session where she did a technique. It was well worth it. And she's going to be doing one a month, I believe, through the end of the year. I know September, October, November for sure, and I think December too. They're $8 for the entire weekend. So it's kind of like going to a crop, but not quite the same. And I do have plans for September for sure, and possibly October for parts of those weekends at least. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing it, but October I think I could do, even if I don't do the whole weekend. So I'm just going to pull that. My ATG likes to condense on that, so we'll just do that and get that. Oops. So the other trick, if you don't know, to keep this sitting on the roll and not travel, you just take your old used circle and you pop it on there, and that really helps with that. That's an old tip from somebody years ago. It helps with ATG. And then I'm looking, and I really need to clean this off. I'm going to do that really quick. This sticks to everything. I've got a ton of it sitting right here. That's it's the love-hate with the ATG, right? That there's things about it that I don't love, but overall, I really like how it works. And that just makes sense to me. Okay, so let's get those on there, and then I'm going to cut this. So do that. And I'm looking, and I have these on here crooked. Well, we have a great start tonight, don't we? My ATG tape runs out, and what I'm doing here is something that I don't usually do, which I'm putting a little separation here. And so I'm doing that because I didn't like the photos butted up against each other. Most of the time I'm doing that. So, Cynthia, it's it's just getting used to it, I guess. Make sure you're pressing down on the handle. The other thing is keep your grip steady along as you're doing the tape. For me, I usually buy my tape on sale at often Joann's actually, when they have coupons. I know lots of people do other websites because it's so expensive, but it's for me, it's worth it to buy the reputable stuff because I don't have problems with it. Because sometimes the other stuff that you can buy other places is not wound correctly and all of that. So, oh, cool that you just found her. She's awesome. So YouTube videos, she does a YouTube live pretty much every Friday at 2 Central, which I actually scrapbooked along with her this afternoon. I don't always do that, but I did it this week. I'm going to pull this off as well, too. That will help me judge how big I want this to be. So, now, so this is about 6 3/4 inches, and just because I am talking to you guys, my female cat is crying. She's been a pistol lately, let's just say that. So the other thing I could do is do it like this. Yes, you do hear kitties. She's been sassy lately. So I actually like it better with the darker color, I think, at the top than the bottom. That's just a personal thing for me. Now, I don't love, however, that this is taking up, that it's almost half and half. I want to pull this back. And I like the top line of that. So what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to take about 1 inch off of this. Maybe not quite. Yeah. I got that right to about 6, and I definitely don't want that. So there's a really nice strip for another fun layout. Okay, so this I took down to 5 3/4. Most of the time it's your layout is not going to look as pleasing to the eye if you do a half and half. It's a hard thing to execute. I've seen Shamel do it a couple of times. I've done it a couple of times, but you're not working with the rule of thirds when you do that. So it makes balance to your eye a little bit harder to do. So just keep that in mind if you decide to do that. Okay, and then just a little bit of tips here. So I can, put the photos here, or I can put the photos here, but her eye is definitely going to the left. He's almost straight on, and they're definitely kind of a little bit left, but she's so far left, we're going to put it on the left side so that they're looking into the layout for sure. So I think that's funny that you get on the cat's nerves. Yeah, my female cat started exhibiting some really naughty behavior lately. But I've been back to work for, oh my gosh, since mid-May. So that's not what it is. So the vet and I are not quite sure what's going on with her, other than the fact that she's being a pistol. Okay, so just kind of playing around with where I could do things. I'm thinking maybe if I had some kind of journaling card here, the title could go right up there, and then I could add in a little snow cone here and there or something. There's a little ice cold drink sign. Now I need to take care of this, so I could bring in, definitely I believe I have some aqua cards that would work with that. So I'm going to grab my Ellie Studio Aqua. And then some aqua, and then some. So that's a little green. So that would work. I'm looking like at that one. So that's a lighter version, but I think I like this one a little bit better. The "this makes me happy" is cute, but the "this makes that also makes them happy." This is kind of cute because it is like a water piece, but I think we'll say that I have a water picture of them. where they're actually in the water. Yeah, Cynthia, I believe that. I was just talking to my sister last week, and they were supposed to go visit my nephew and his wife. This would be fun, this memory capture card, because it brings in the colors plus it's circles. So I think that's what we're going to do. Anyway, they're supposed to go to visit her son and his wife, who is pregnant with their grandbaby, their third grandbaby right now. And because Wisconsin was starting to, the rates were rising, we were put on their quarantine list. And so they can't go, which is sad. Okay, so a lot going on with this layout here. So I do like the cold drinks. We've got the swimming suit bottoms here. There's a lot going on with this if I put all these things on. So I'm thinking not the swimming suit bottoms. I do like getting this on here. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is glue this down. Yeah, my poor sister. I think that's that. So my nephew was studying. He's doing a doctorate, and he was doing his doctoral research, and he got a Fulbright scholarship, which is really prestigious. And he was studying or doing his research abroad for 9 months, and he came home just as COVID hit the U.S. And they saw each other about a month ago for just a couple of hours. She hadn't seen him in 13 months. That's sad. So they did, at least they've seen each other a little bit, but they were really looking forward to this visit. Okay, so I like how this is starting out, but I think there's a lot going on here. Yes, and his aunt hasn't seen him, and he was studying in France for part of it, and he has a bottle of French wine that we're supposed to be enjoying together, but obviously that's not happening. Eventually it will. So I'm looking at this and just kind of trying to decide. I think this is too many lines. I think we're going to go with a polka dot here, and it's just which one of these works best. And so this is a little bit too blue, I think. This is nice. That's a nice match. But I'm thinking that I'm going to go with this narrower one, and I'm going to fake this a little bit because I've already glued this down. And we'll just wrap it around the back. So, hey, Barbara. Yes, it is finally another Friday Night Live. Said I had not forgotten you guys. I was just busy on Friday nights. And not busy out of my house. It was really in my house. I'm still pretty much on, I'm still being really careful, and it's because of what I do for a living that I don't want to take a chance of infecting my clients. So, okay. So I think that really helps here. Give us some a little bit of like delineation between the papers. I think that made a huge difference. Now, the one thing I'm looking at here is how far up does this go? Because I don't want these two flamingos across from each other. And I think that guy could go right there. And this guy can go here. And again, we have the popsicles. We don't have ice cold drinks, so maybe I could do something around that. And I could always ink my edges. I think I'm going to ink the edges on the card. I happen to have my Memento Dewdrop in gray flannel. This is just the foam applicator, but I have it sitting right in front of me there. Okay, so I'm thinking I like that placement. There's a lot of dead space over here in this photo, so that's okay for that. And then if we do it like this, and I'm kind of watching here to see where that lands on that tape, it's a little bit higher than this one here. So let's do that. And then I think I'm going to keep this guy flat. Definitely the top popsicle will pop up. And then so I'm having him cross the layers of the paper, the card, the washi tape there. And I wasn't here, so I don't have a lot to say about these photos other than that they were hanging out with Dad. And these children are addicted to popsicles right now, which when you're a kid you should be, right? So there's that. And I do have tiny little flamingo, these puffy stickers too. Oh, and there's popsicles here too. I just realized that. So I might be able to use those too. The question is, now this guy I think we're not going to use, and I think we're not going to use that other flamingo there. I just don't think they're going to fit. But the question is, could we do something like maybe, this is a nice match to that. Let's get him down. I don't know why these flamingos are boys, but apparently I think they are. And again, I'm kind of watching spacing here so that I don't get like too much dead space or too much trapped white space there. It's a lot of stuff going on over here. I think too much going on over here, not there. But I could always do something up here and maybe, here we go. That I think looks nice up there. So you get a contrast of some colors up there. It brings that blue up there back again, because that's one of the things I liked about this piece. And I still do have those sunglasses that I can put somewhere. Oh, this is a sticker and I just put ATG on it, but that's okay. I think I was thinking it was the chipboard. I don't think these peel off. Oh, they do. But I still put, even, these are still really sticky from Simple Stories, but I'm still putting ATG on it. Okay. So there's that one. And now the question is, do we want anything else? Like we've got this cute little pair of flip-flops, but I think this is actually more blue. So I'm going to pop those back on there. And then we have the sunglasses. Just trying to figure out, is that like too much on there? There's a lot going on here and I don't have the title on yet. I'm going to put those to the side, and I think these little tiny puppy stickers might be a little bit too much because the scale is not going to be the same here. They'll be they're really tiny. So I think we'll probably leave those off on this one, and I'll file that back in my mind. I really like this to get the color down here, to get some more of that down here. But let's see. So I need a title here, and I think, yeah, I could call it Summer or Summer Days. Either one of those two would work really well. I'm going to get this photo down just a little bit more. So we'll pop that on there, and I'll see what I have in an alpha that might work there. Goodness knows I have plenty of alphas in aqua or turquoise. Maybe a glittery one. kind of looking to see what else we might have here. I do kind of like this alpha. Do I have an R here though? I don't. This alpha is hard to MacGyver too because it's an ombre. But I do have this one. And I also have this one. So let's see, summer. Okay, there's a P, so I can do, yep, I can do summer days here. Okay, so I'm going to not be brave. I just like the glitteriness of this. Is that a word, glitteriness? It is now. So if I can't get summer days in here, we're going to do summer, which I don't think I can. Not enough, because I want to sit it right there. So H, and if I have, let's see, there's no, let's see, no commas here. That's my H, or my A. Let's see, I don't think I want to go any higher. And I'm still thinking like I need, let's see, I think we could cut a 7 to make a comma. There we go. It was going to bother me if it wasn't there. And this is probably going to go a little bit wider. But I think it'll be okay. Oops. These letters grow. That S definitely did. Okay, maybe I'll go backwards from this. I do think I need some smaller things here, so maybe enamel dots, other stuff. Yeah, it's, well, I shouldn't say I'm not a glitter girl. I do like glitter, but I even use them on my boy pages, Tammy. I'm kind of careful. I mean, I don't necessarily, I do use flowers on my grandson's pages, but I wouldn't necessarily use like pink glitter, but I'm okay with glitter like this. As a matter of fact, I did it really recently on one of their pages, and if I think about it, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll go grab my stack of layouts that I haven't put away from that Victoria. Oh yeah, okay, well that didn't work quite the way I wanted it to, so we need to, I need to get these a little bit closer here. I think it'll be okay. And I like the way, you know, I think the other thing sometimes too is because I have more of this color spread around the layout, it kind of neutralizes it, so that might help you too, is if you spread it around, it will help with that. Okay, so there's our layout so far. I'm just feeling like, as much as I like those, it's one more thing on the layout, especially because this paper is so busy. So I'm going to leave that off. As much as I like that, we'll leave that off. But I do think I need some smaller pieces on here. I'm just going to check and see, you know, test it out. Maybe we'll use some of these. Now that guy I think looks okay here. So I think he's good there. Like this, if I do something like this, it just looks like it has a weird baby. And I think that would be true of these as well. I think they're a little bit small. The scale's not right. Okay, so I'm going to leave him up here. So we got one of the puffy, well, I got the puffy sticker on there, at least one of them. I did grab these. So these are the Simple Story Summer Days brads. I mean, I was thinking perhaps I could dot them around like enamel dots, but I think I really want enamel dots. And then I'm going to look to see if I can use any of the enamel dots. Oh yeah, and I can. Any of the enamel dots that I have to my left hand. Ah, that's awesome. Leave it up to me. Okay, so I keep a pile of things here that I want to use up just to my left hand, like where I have one enamel dot left or just a couple, that kind of stuff. So none of these other ones can be used, but I can use these Chamel ones. So let's do that. Let's use up some of these. So these are red. Okay. That did like look like he was having a baby or something. I don't know. And you know me and these big enamel dots, I like to tuck them. So here's the other thing. I'm not sure. Let's see. Where can we put this guy? You have to be careful. So Cynthia, you want to laugh again? Whenever I have an animal, I'm always really careful where I put the enamel dots, because if you put them down here somewhere, yeah, that's not good, because of what it makes the animal look like it's doing. So that's my own personal crazy. Okay, I think I want this one actually all the way out there. And I do have one orange one here, which I could use in this mix. See, I almost did it here. I guess that one's not so bad, but it looks like it's like that flamingo has an egg, which it does not. Okay, I have one orange one left. Yes, I am kind of a naughty girl. Okay, we're going to put that orange one there, and I think we'll just pop this one down here. And that way I can use them all up. I hate leaving one on a sheet if I don't have to. There. And if that won't stay down, we're going to get the ATG out here. And I'm not so worried about putting glue and stuff on my photos because these are just fun photos, right? And I have all of these photos backed up digitally. So hey you guys, big yay for me, because that is a package of enamel dots used up. That's kind of exciting. I'm always excited when I get to recycle that. So, and I actually think that's pretty good. I could perhaps grab some thanks. I could grab some kind of turquoise, although I'm going through enamel dots like crazy. I'm trying not to buy more right now because I'm trying to force myself to use them up. So let me see if I even have any. I don't know that I do. I might, but I'm not sure. That's a lighter color, but I think that's too light. And you can tell, here's big enamel dots that I need to majorly tuck those when I use them. I do have some hearts, but I don't think I want another shape on here. There's some turquoise. See, this is why I'm not allowing myself to buy more, because I do have things that, my favorite turquoise I've used up. I'm pretty sure. But there's some right there that I can use. Oh, and I have those as well too if I want to go smaller. So, or to a different, these have a lot more blue in them, I think. Let's see. What do we think? Let's use these just because I haven't used these as much as I should. Well, could. How about that? So then I think what I'm going to do, oh, maybe not. So what's happening here is they're so bright. I think they're taking, you see what's happening there? They're taking a lot of focus off of the rest of the layout. These are coming off. And I think that's a problem I have with these, is they're so bright. They take the focus off things. I love doodle bugs. They have a color, I don't remember what it's called. It might be swimming pool. That's probably my favorite aqua or turquoise colored enamel dot. So anyway, so I think we're not going to do that. I think I'm going to leave that off. So that's the layout for tonight. Let me go grab my Stack O layouts and see if I can find that other layout with those on for you, Tammy. And I do mean Stack O layouts, guys. I'm going to put this one aside. So this is the one I finished this afternoon. I hope this isn't too crazy. Let me shift some stuff, because then I can look through them a little easier. We'll clear some of that off. So this is the one I finished this afternoon. And this is some vintage Chamel here. It's from True Stories, this one is. So there's a 2-pager. And that was just while Victoria Marie was doing her live. And I'm kind of looking to see if I can find, oh, here. So there's another one where I brought in that alpha. Now, again, I've got boys on here. My granddaughter's here. So I have the boys on here, but I have the flowers as well. But what I did is, here's the alpha, but I also have these 2 aqua colored birds and then this little aqua there. So that helps kind of neutralize that as well. Oh, I have another one. Apparently I've been using this a lot. So that's that. See, flowers, they're okay on a boy layout. So yeah. That's true, Tammy. I use up a product and I'm like, where's the rest of it? So this is actually my stepson and daughter-in-law, the parents to all those 4 little darlings. And they put them all in bed and then had a little date night at home. And so I used that here. And that again, because now this makes sense, right? So here's an idea like sparkle, night, light. It was making me think about that. But here's some more, again, turquoise here and here. There was no turquoise up here, so I just brought in that hashtag to kind of pull it all together. So there's a couple of ideas for you. I'm just trying to see if I have any more of that alpha that I've used, that alpha. It's a fairly new alpha to me, so I don't think I've used it recently beyond these 2 that I can think of anyway. So just looking. Oh! Well, there's not that alpha, but there's another use of that color. So this is grandbaby number 4's first birthday. And there's a boy layout with that glitter on it again. So it can be done. Sometimes when I have products like that that are hard for me to use, I just have to force myself to do it. So, okay. So I think that's most of them. I'll get rid of my Stack O layouts here. So, okay, cool. I'm glad that helped. I'm glad I used that alpha tonight. But really, seriously, sometimes I just have to be like, okay, just put it on the layout and then put it on the layout. And if it's looking too bright or like it doesn't work as well, just take a deep breath and add more. The one thing about this layout is, and here's another thing. So there's a lot of exclamation points. When you use this, normally they provide a lot of periods. This one doesn't have it, but I'll take these off and use these like little enamel dots. So that's another way that you can scatter things around or use to get a little bit more of that. Like if you use it in your title, you can do like what I did on that date night. I used the year in the font as well. So you could put like 2020 or whatever somewhere else in the layout, so you pull the color and the alpha through a little bit more to help sort of neutralize that so it doesn't stick out for you. So hopefully that does help. Well, all right, you guys, it's been fun to be back with you again. I'm trying to think, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it's just a little bit before 8, so I've got a couple things I need to get done tonight. I thought I'd see if I could sneak in another layout, but I don't know. I know what I could do. Do you want me to go through the rest of that stack of layouts? I'll just wait a second, because I could do that. I have time to do that yet tonight if you want me to. Just so you can see the stuff I've been working on. Most of those do not have videos for them, just because I was doing it. So, all right, Tammy says yes, please. So you guys are going to have to deal, right? So I'm going to do this so that we can't. So you saw this one, and you saw the bounce house one, and you saw my sweet little, all right, guys, so it's a definite yes. So you saw, so this is grandbaby number 4, and this is a crepe paper pad, and again, pink on a boy layout, so that does not bother me to do that. Then here's some legitimate pink and purple. So this is my granddaughter and her mama. My daughter-in-law takes the kids on one-on-one dates. My stepson stays at home with them, at least he does right now. He's furloughed, and actually that came at a really great time. She's working from home, but he's furloughed, so he can take care of the kids during the day, and then she'll take them out on one-on-one dates, which is kind of a cool thing. So this is about one of their one-on-one dates. A lot of this is Chamel. I think most of this is Chamel, except that card, if I remember correctly. So I loved this paper and was so glad to be able to get this in. So a lot of times when I do a 2-page layout, I'll line photos up across either the top or the bottom here, or I'll flip it like this, where I line them up across the top. And so if I did it this way, this photo would come over here. Just so you know that. So that's one of the ways that I do 2-pagers a lot of times, and then kind of use like here I don't really have, it's not the rule of 3 because there's 4, but it kind of makes a diagonal across the page to kind of draw your eye across the 2 pages. So that's how I do a 2-pager. So that's that one. And then I did a lot of 2-pagers here. So then this is photos of my grandson on a date with his mama. And I loved this. This is kind of a cool thing. So this is a Simple Stories paper. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because it's glued down. There is a big floral pattern under here. You can see just a titch of it there. Titch, that would be a Midwestern word, I think. Anyway, and so I hid that behind the photos here. So now here's a case where I had horizontal and vertical, and just kind of did them on 2 different sides. So that's another 2-pager. Oh my goodness, you guys are getting lots of 2-page, because the next one's a 2-pager too. So this was a fun challenge for me. Remember, Tammy, when I said sometimes stuff that you're not sure about, you just have to take a deep breath? So I was at there's a Ben Franklin, which is a local craft store for us, or Midwestern, I think they're Midwestern craft store, and the nearest one to me is going out of business, so I stopped there, and I really loved this paper as a scenic paper, and my stepkids family has taken a ton of walks during the spring. They're walking every day to try to get the kids out of the house, because the kids really aren't going out much. And I loved it, and I thought, well, that would be cool to use for them. But then when it came time to use it, I'm like, how do I use photoreal papers with pattern papers? So I took a deep breath and combined with a lot of Paige Evans things. And this is my granddaughter with my daughter-in-law's dad, who the kids love to pieces, and he's a really great grandpa. So that is that. And I'm looking at this and thinking, I'm going to take my mat off here, because it's kind of distracting. Okay, so back to that. There we go. So Paige Evans, lots of Paige Evans here. All right, so there's that. Now the only problem is I took that mat off and now I don't have a guide. So then this next one is some Chamel Little by Little papers. I just found the the pad at Tuesday morning not that long ago. And this is a thing I do all the time. I talk about this all the time. If I don't do clusters in threes, I do a diagonal across from each other, because then the photos are in the middle of them. So your eye travels across from embellishment cluster to embellishment cluster with the photo in the middle here, versus here's a 3. So here's one with 1, 2, 3 embellishment clusters with the photo in the intersection of all of those. So that's kind of like a little bit of a difference, and it was fun. I haven't used doilies in ages and I love them, so it was kind of fun to do that. This is a really cute story. My oldest grandson was rubbing his sister's feet for her. So it was just funny, and then he put his foot on her to get his little massage, and because I'm a massage therapist, of course I thought that was very funny. With this, these are pieces from a cut apart sheet, but they're really squares, and I just cut the pieces out of these guys. So that was a nice way to make those work for me. This is a little Zoom chat, so this will go in their album. I really tried to get some of the really unusual things that were going off. This is a great Pink Fresh Studio collection called, I think, Let's Stay Home, if I remember correctly. And then I just cut this heart out from a 6x8 paper pad. And this is, Chamel did a Best of Both Worlds kit. If you follow Chamel, this is part, I created my own. I had a lot of the papers from it, so then I just kind of pulled my own other things in, and that was with that. Here's some more. I'm using a lot of Chamel lately just because I have it. I want to use it while I love it, since she's not producing any more papers. So this is more Chamel with my one grandson is reading the Bible to the other grandson, which I thought was really sweet. And frames. So I use these frames a lot, especially with a pattern like this, where the pattern just kind of continues off the page. I don't know if that helps, because that is true about some of these others, but I didn't feel like that needed a frame. Sometimes I frame that one, but this felt like it needed a frame to contain this pattern, which reminds me of books. She had some book themes in this collection, and this is, oh, it's the one with the dinosaurs that I can't think of. Not Never Grow Up, but the one right before Field Trip. So, and then it was just kind of fun to do the big banner. All right, so then this is a layout, and this is one of my favorite layouts I've made lately, not just because I think it's pretty, but because these are some old photos. So I don't remember exactly why I did this. There was a reason for this, but on Father's Day, I went looking for some photos of my dad. So my dad passed away 13 years ago. This is on my high school graduation day. And so I took this photo, scanned it, and then enlarged it here. I think I actually did this on a live, now that I think about it, because we were talking about this frame and how to use it, and somebody suggested that I ink it. And so that one you guys may have seen. So anyways, I still love this, but it needs to get in my books. I normally don't wait that long to do them. So here's another layout. This is an older one, but I need to get the dates from my sister. I want to put labels on these of the boys. This one I know how old it is, but for the other photos I'm not exact. This one I could probably take a really good guess at, but these two I'm not positive. So she still owes me a little help on that. This one, oh my gosh, one of my favorite photos of my granddaughter. And then this is fun. I loved this Sparkle City card because it's a lenticular, so it changes as you look at it. It goes from day to night. And so it was fun to get that on a layout. All right. right, and this one was a Stash Bash, which is a series that I do with Rachel Reynolds on the first of the month. And I'm trying to remember what the theme of this was. It might have been die cuts, but I don't remember for sure. So anyway, that's that one. Lots of grandbaby photos here. So this one is a photo of my grandson, and just he had gotten this for his birthday in January, and then from his grandpa that you saw in one of the pictures with my granddaughter. And they were going to build this together, and then COVID happened, and he didn't get a chance to do it. So finally in May, he was able to do an overnight with him and get it done. And the thing that I like about this is a lot of these pieces, these die cuts here, this is a Stash Bash too, now that I think about it, because this is a Stash Bash with the die cuts. But anyway, these die cuts don't go with this set of pattern papers, and I made them work. Because sometimes I have a hard time with that. Like this yellowy color here is not necessarily the same as this and this, nor is it the same as the enamel dots. But I took a deep breath, which is what I sometimes need to do, and just pulled them together, and I like how that worked out in the end. So now we've got a couple of frame layouts going on. I'll go through phases where I do that. So that's what's going on here. More Chamel here. So I have 4 photos here, and just kind of put them in a collage and then pulled other elements in around it. And the embellishing is really all basically kind of on the sides of this, because it's a pretty busy layout. But this is one of their things they did to keep the kids busy during stay at home. So they got 30,000 water beads. And I think eventually they put them in the bathtub. Here's a photo of me after a really hot run on July 4th. And you can tell because my face matches my top after the run there. And just a fun, this again is from my version of the Best of Both Worlds kit. So this paper was not in there originally, but I liked the way it pulled colors together. And a little shelf. You can always, if things feel like they're floating, you can put them on a shelf. And that really helps with that floaty kind of feeling sometimes. So I'm just putting something back together here. Okay, so this is one of, oops, sorry guys. I lost an O here. Hang on a second. And now it wants to, sometimes these LE Studio puffy letters don't stay on very well, I have discovered. Okay, so this was for one of Victoria Marie's challenges. She has a pocket challenge, so I created a pocket out of a couple pieces of paper, and I figured it would be a good way to get some ephemera in. And I found this stuff from when my grandfather passed away in 2006 that I still had not gotten scrapbooked. So it's the guest book, it's his prayer card from his funeral, and then a little card from my grandmother thanking my husband, at the time my husband and I, for something that we sent her. So I just thought it was a kind of a fun way to, well, kind of a nice way to get that stuff all stored, and it still looks pretty. Let's see, this is, trying to think, there was something fun about this one, and I don't remember what it was. If it was the, oh, I know what it was. I unearthed a really old collection of illustrated faith papers, and just, which is a faith collection, but, oh, and actually now that I think about it, yeah, this is nice. It's a faith collection, but I used it to document a gin and tonic because my dad drank Tanqueray and tonics, not just gin and tonic, Tanqueray and tonics, and so do I. So my first one of the season, I usually take a photo somewhere toasting him, and that's what this is about. So, and just a little gratitude and love you, just remembering him there. This is a fun one because I love this paper. This is the Firefly paper from one of Chamel's collections. I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but I did that and pulled in some stickers from one of her sticker books. And this is a really fun socially distanced night we had. This is probably one of the first times I was actually out of my house in a group of people, but we were like, most of the people are here, we're like way back away listening to a concert. So that was kind of fun. And then here is another, oh, this is kind of fun because this is from my grandson's first birthday. So there's the main layout with 11 photos, but I had some other ones that kind of were just general photos, so I have 4 more. So I popped them in these 4x6 pockets I have. So there are 15 photos scrapbooked here. And when I do that, I try to, you know, there's a piece there, it's really basically a small strip of pattern paper, a couple little embellishments, like here, this is the only embellishment on this side, and this embellishment here, because I've got this sitting in the middle as well too. So lots of 2-page layouts. There's a, whoops, there's another one coming up here. Right here, as a matter of fact. So this is the 2 pages of him with his birthday presents. And so this is one of those cases with, yeah, sometimes I actually can get a lot of photos on a page. I know you guys see me do 1 or 2 a lot, but I do sometimes do that. So this is a case where I did a 2-page layout, but the backing papers are not the same. So the paper that's in common is this aqua paper from side to side, but obviously the colors are, because I've got aquas and blues and that kind of thing, but they go together. They're just not exactly the same, and the design's not the same. So again, this is another one where I now have 10 photos on 2 pages, and I do this a lot with when we do an outing somewhere or one of the kids' birthdays. So that's that. I love this little, this is from a crate, old crate paper collection, that cute little llama. Here's a 1-page photo layout. So this is, I bought this really fun new footstool kind of thing. It's a poof. And it's like a big beanbag for out on my porch because, you know, just sitting on a chair without my feet up out there was really hard on me. I'm laughing about that, you guys. It was absolutely not. But anyway, and this is, again, when I found that Illustrated Faith collection, this was the first layout I did, and then I did that other layout. And I loved this paper when I got this collection. So I was so happy to be able to feature it big and bold. But it's busy, but you're still focused in for 2 things, because I put this block of not so busy paper, and I could have even extended that paper out even further, but I really wanted to see more of these flowers. But you could do that, so then you get even less busy on the outside. So you just do a smaller frame, maybe a 1/2 inch on either side. The other reason is, or other 2 reasons, is cluster of 3 surrounding the photo. So your eye, you know, that photo, it's a little off to the side there, but it's still there in the cluster. And then this really dark tag here draws your eye right in. So that's how I handled using a very busy piece of paper there. This is from my grandson's birthday. He was a frosting mess when he was all done. So Daddy's got him. They're starting his bath to get him kind of cleaned up, and someone gave him a beer. So that I had to get that, and then here he is all clean and looking concerned and wondering why I'm taking his picture, but he was looking so cute with that chunky baby belly, so how could I not? So yeah, I find that too, Tammy, when I'm with them. Like we went to a splash pad last Friday afternoon before we came back here to hang out overnight, and I probably took, I don't know, 30 photos. Well, I'm not going to use all 30 of them, but I'm still probably going to have 10 or 12 of them. So that's why being able to do a 2-pager or a 2-pager with the insert is really nice. And if I have a lot, sometimes I have I can't remember what they call, but where they have 2 rows of 3. So is it a 6-up? I think they call that a 6-up, where they do that. And sometimes I'll do that, and then I combine them like with what I did with that other one, where some spots are the photos and some spots are embellishments, so that you get a little bit of a relaxation for your eyes. All right, here is one I did just of my cat. She likes to put her paw on my iPad when I'm using it, so I just had to get that documented. And here, my goal was to use up some October afternoon. which that's what this and this is. And then I found this other sheet, which is not October Afternoon. I think that's Jelly Bean Soup, but all these layers are October Afternoon. We were talking, I think actually I might have done this for the Victoria Marie Challenge, but if nothing else, I was inspired by it to use a manufacturer that you really love, that you're kind of hoarding. And I don't know that I'm hoarding it specifically, but it's so yellow compared to the whiteness of papers today that I find it hard to combine. So I use the Jelly Bean Soup, which that used to be very yellow, and this making, not me, My Mind's Eye is another one if you're looking for yellow. So that's that. Okay, so this is one of my favorite like little clever things lately. I put a frog in a jar here. This is the Never Grow Up collection by Chamel. This is, I don't remember where this piece came from, but it's not Chamel, it was from another one. But a lot of the rest of this is Never Grow Up. But she did this on purpose so that you could put things in it. But I thought it was really cute because she's holding a little baby frog there. The thing besides doing that is that I also use cork. So this was a last piece of Ellie Studio cork that's probably 3 or 4 years old, and then I just pulled in some little yellow bicycle cork to kind of, so it's not the only cork thing, and then pulled in some wood here as well too. So that's that one. Here's another 2-pager again, and again next to our grandkid photos here. So another 2-pager. So remember how I said either I do them across the top or across the bottom. So this is across the bottom, but with a little bit more space, because I wanted to use this punch. So this is years ago, before sequins were all the rage, confetti was all the rage, and we would buy this punch, which was an EK Success punch, and you'd punch the paper and make your confetti that way. Well, I think maybe I had done that once, but I had never used it as a border, and I think I only ever used it once. So I wanted to use this. So not only did I use it as a border, which it's a really cute border. I need to do this more often. It's great for the kids. But then I took the punched pieces, so negative space here, the positive pieces, and I scattered them across the layout. So that was really fun to use that layout there. And this was kind of cute because it reminded me of bubbles. They're playing with the bubbles from a bubble machine at the birthday party of my other grandson. All right, and then this is another 2-pager where 11 photos here. And I cut these down because almost all of these photos were taken by my grandson except for this one, which is him. So some of them were not framed perfectly, although he has a fairly decent eye considering he's only 7. So I cut some of them down to kind of help them make a little bit more sense or something, I guess. Anyway, a lot of neutral colors. And then I like it that he did take a picture of where they were because that then could have been the title, although I made a title here too. So anyway, so that's that. And look at that, there's cardstock, craft cardstock, but I use cardstock. So back using the October Afternoon again. Actually, I think this is the layout I did where I used the October Afternoon for the Victoria Marie Challenge. Well, that's cool, Tammy. I'm glad I could give you that idea. So this is the layout where I used the October Afternoon, where I went and found it. And I loved this paper, but I only had this piece. And I loved how it went with this stripe and this paper, but none of them were a full sheet. So I just put it on a piece of cardstock and then pieced the layout together from there. And then I still had all this October Afternoon chipboard, and I had these flowers, and I just thought, go big or go home here. I'm using a lot of chipboard. So this one and I can't remember which other one, the layout of my dad and I, some of my favorite layouts lately. But I just love how, I don't know, I love October Afternoon. I miss October Afternoon. So cool that I got to use a lot of that. So this one is a another frame layout. This is also another one from my homemade Best of Both World kit, and this is what I was talking about, how sometimes I use a frame because it feels like the design's going off the paper and I want to contain it. So that's what's going on here. And I did sit back down, guys, so if my voice changed, that's why. And then just some of the pieces. I think this is Amy Tangerine, if I remember correctly. So, and again, just kind of, this is where my grandson has taught me how to use Messenger Kids, and we play games and we use all sorts of silly filters. We did it a lot more when we were all at home and we weren't seeing each other. So a couple times a week, usually he and I would talk and play games. So I wanted to get that documented. And another 2-page layout, and this one with a cut file. So this is my grandson's birthday. Again, just using a big cut file there. I think this is Bella Boulevard papers, if I'm not mistaken. And again, where I have used, it's a 2-page layout, but the papers aren't even the same from side to side. If you, oh, and this is actually a 3-page layout. I almost forgot about that. So there is, yeah, this is the back side, because I had so many and I was thinking about putting them into a 6-up, but I didn't have enough photographs that I wanted to take the time. Plus my 6-ups, these would have been sideways, so I really wanted them to be vertical, so I just did it on the back. So here is the cake part of his first birthday party there. So 14 photos here in this one. And you know, some motifs, you know, like I pulled this strip from there, or not, this strip is from a border paper, but it's a repeat of that, so that's there, but it's not exactly the same. Oh, and you're hearing my cat. So that's a fun one too. Sometimes I'll do that where I just use the back. And then lots of birthday photos because I really wanted to get his birthday scrapbooked. And that was a Paige Evans. This is a Paige Evans cuts file. And if you go to her Etsy shop, which is Page by Page, it's Page by BY PAIGE. Her cut files are 60% off right now. I went through and found a few that I wanted to buy earlier today, so you can get a lot of cut files for not much money if you do that. This is also a page cut file, the balloons here. More Bella Boulevard paper here, actually, and just I liked the balloons and just kind of filled them in and did that. And his brother was being really cutesy and he was not having it. So, all right, so last layout here is my grandson here, and I was at that Ben Franklin. I found these Jolie stickers with fish, and they're more photo real, but this also is another paper from my version of Chamel's August Best of Both Worlds kit. So that's where this stuff comes from, and then I just added that in as well. So fishing, my grandsons love to fish. I cut it myself, Barbara. So Paige has the cut files out there, and then you cut them yourself. So I have a Cricut. So I try not to do those very much on videos. I try to keep that more to a minimum, just because I realize that not everybody has a Cricut or a Silhouette, a Cameo. Because I didn't have one until about a year and a half ago. I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not, so I really try to keep that to a minimum, but that's where they're from. I do know that Redefined Creative, which is KREATIVE, which is Christina Sorge's business, so Redefined Creative, that she has cut files that you can buy, that she cuts them for you. So you might want to check that out if you don't have a machine yourself. And she's doing more and more of that, and you might want to, if you're interested in that, I think Paige Evans, there is somebody that does her cut files that she has permission to do that. So she'll sometimes advertise on Paige's Facebook group. So you might want to check that out as well too. I don't know how often she's on there, but you know, maybe it's worth a Google if you don't have it. But that's where, and I know Chamel's working on some things right now. I know, like today in her video, her live video today, she talked about how you could, I think it was today, might have been Mondays, how you could cut titles without having a machine to cut them. So, because like I said, for a long time I didn't have a machine either, and there is a learning curve to it. So most definitely, I use mine for more than scrapbook pages though. Now I make t-shirts and cups and all sorts of other things. So all right, you guys, so I hope that was a little helpful to go through. So that's what I have been working on. And I said, like, a lot of those don't actually have videos because I was doing them during the Victoria Marie crop. I think I made, oh gosh, probably almost 20 pages over the course of those. I think I started on, well, Friday night, but I made a couple on Thursday as well. But when I get going, I'm pretty prolific. And it was hot that weekend, so I was outside, but not as much as I normally would have been. So, all right, you guys, I do need to get going because I've got a couple of things I need to do. Thanks for joining me tonight. And glad I could provide a little bit of inspiration. It's one of the reasons I do this because I've been given so much inspiration from other YouTubers and scrapbookers. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'm not sure what my schedule looks like next week, but you know, I'll try to more consistently, well I have been pretty consistent about it, getting videos live once a weekend. I think I did warn you that I might not be here for those 2 weeks, and I'll try to warn you if I know that. But anyway, hope you guys have a great Friday night, and good to see all of you. Bye, everybody.